Frost.
Alan.
Ooh, very nice.
Needed that.
I didn't.
Neither did I.
You two would say that.
It's true.
Yeah, it is true. It's true.
Not a lot more to say from us, really.
No, it was. It was more just a sort of a drunken dream in the back of the head in my early 20s. Really, I just remember rewatching a load of old documentaries from when we were all growing up, like the Train Now Departing and Steam Days and Great Railway Journeys of the World, and I thought these all look really good, but they just look good. They don't really say much about the locomotives and all of the stuff that die-hard rail fans could really get into. And then sort of 2009, Top Gear did that race with Tornado to the north of Scotland, or to Edinburgh. And I just looked at the cinematography of that and thought, you see, this is how you make steam engines look exciting, because they can be dramatic, they can be interesting, they can have a sense of majesty and beauty at the same time. There's no other machine that looks as exciting standing still as it is hurtling on at 100 miles an hour. So I thought, why isn't there someone doing a magazine-style review show for the railway enthusiast? This YouTube was just taking off. People were doing games and films and toys and all the rest of it, but nothing about historic transport. So I just thought, why not? Look where we are now.
And then you dragged us into it.
And I've never looked back since.
Nope.
Sadly. Ooh, big one. I've always enjoyed the Borden and Mona Barclays. Don't know about you two, but
That was, yeah.
I think that week in general was just good fun.
It
Ireland was just fantastic.
I loved working with the guys over in Ireland. It was really, really. There wasn't a kind of they're doing a film. It was right, lads, let's get on with it. Right in. I think we have Mr. Fogarty to thank for that real drive.
Thank you, Tom.
Yes.
And thank you, Alan. And thank you, everybody at Strad Valley.
Yes, it was a lovely, lovely week. I think I'm with you on that. Possibly the only other one that's come vaguely close was Wales.
Yeah.
Oh, the Vale of Rydal.
Vale of Rydal.
Yeah, that was quite good as well.
That was good fun to make.
I don't know, I've kind of enjoyed most of them in general, apart from Britannia's, obviously.
Yes. Well,
That goes without saying.
We've all had our.
We'll gloss over the Britannias.
We'll gloss over that one.
Yeah.
That and Camelot was good.
Camelot was very good.
But that was kind of restricted to just doing the PTCs. But that whole experience was just a funny day.
Yeah.
More so for us because of what we were planning in the background. Yes, trying to plan your 30th birthday party while at the same time filming your PTCs was quite.
I thought you were going on about death for a moment there, but I'll give you that.
No, that doesn't take any planning.
No.
You just turn up and.
I completely forgot about that. No, it takes no planning whatsoever.
Nope.
Just turn up and take the piss.
A little bit of planning. A little bit of planning in as much as we're going to pick that one. What can we say that's bad about that one?
We can mention that.
No, honest. Not bad. What's honest about it?
That's true. Every now and then there is a good thing about them. Because when we're filming them, they're not in use.
No, true.
We are overly graced with the presence of what has survived from the Steam era. We've got a lot. And to think of adding more into that mix is
kind of taking the mickey of it, isn't
much.
It? Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I said my sensible answer would be a Mortsel Z. They're big enough that they could look beastie, but actually they're not ideal for running on a preserved line, but they would be not far off of it. We're using the brain thing.
No, I just thought of one.
Oh, you just thought of one.
Oh,
My silly answer would be the leader. Because I want to see people's faces. I like the anarchy that would go with it.
Just look at it.
Just look at it. It looks like a diesel, but it isn't. We could do a whole death looking at it and they go, oh, wait, hang on.
This isn't diesel driven.
It's
steam. This doesn't run on satanic oil. What's going on?
Anyway, before I completely take over, What would you have to come back?
Sensible answer would definitely be the turbo motive, Stanley's turbo motive. Because thinking realistically, there's people in the States who are saying, oh, the T1's going to take Mallard's record. Not going to happen. Seriously. If you're going to go after steam traction's record...
Close. It might get close, but I don't think
but if
you're
going to do that, now think about going, say, 4 or 5 miles an hour over. Why not try for more than that?
150 or something.
Yeah. If you're going to make steam traction relevant in this day and age, in the modern day and age, why not go after the more modern form of motive power like the maglevs and so on, who can nearly do 400 mile an hour?
Yeah, go for a modern record, you mean?
Go for a modern record.
Yes, that's true.
And if you're going to do that, we know the limits of the reciprocating piston engine, so why not try something that had the potential of being the next big thing, like the turbo motive? Because the only thing that let that down was the infrastructure.
Yeah. See, I was about to say something incredibly rude that would never have made the cut, so I won't bother. I'll just tell you afterwards.
Right, do you want my serious answer or the silly answer
Well, first of all, I'd like to say I'm really surprised that you didn't say the London, Brighton, South Coast Railway
Because they were crap. Because they were a pile of crap.
That was my silly answer.
Oh, you want them, do you?
Yes, clearly.
Oh, jolly good. You can put them. We can double head them with my bullied leader.
Yes. No, but my serious
I would only build an E2 if I could blow it up afterwards, just to piss the Thomas fanboys off. I would. So...
Anyway,
your sensible
my
answer.
sensible answer is Big Bertha.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's a good one.
Good shout.
But I literally just thought of.
Hang on, did you get that from my Z?
No, but it just kind of popped into... I think I saw a photo of it or something the other day.
Fine. I was going to say, because I couldn't work out how you got to that from a Monsell Z.
No, it popped into my head.
Fine.
So, Big Bertha.
Big Bertha popped into your head.
That would be a good sight.
I can think of worse things to pop into your head, so yeah.
No, I think we can all think of worse things to pop into your head.
We've heard some of them on the radio.
Certain people within the company...
I said you can't say me.
I didn't say.
It was
I said
it was there by inference. No, actually, I think I can name it. I can definitely name one that frustrated you. You're cold doing the Britannias.
That wasn't fun.
The inability to see a Britannia running for most of the period that we were doing it.
Basically, just anything to do with the Britannias.
The weather when some of the Britannias were running.
Just the weather in general frustrates me, come to think of it.
Yep.
It's
not been great over here.
No, it's not been fantastic over here.
Can we just say, essentially, when making, filming, or editing the Britannias?
Yes, essentially, the Britannias have wound you up.
Yeah.
What's wound me up? Come back to me. Adam, what's wound you up?
Nothing.
I think we can all agree the weather to some extent.
Yeah.
To some extent.
To some extent. I mean, it's obviously been worse for some than it has been for others, but...
Oh, I know. Okay.
What's wound you up then? You're not allowed to say me.
Oh, shocks. No. Jobsworths.
Yeah.
Yes.
Utter Jobsworths.
Yeah.
When filming in or near the main line.
See, this is why I don't go to mainline stations anymore.
They don't even need to be near the stations. I mean, recently, not so much for slips, but with Scotsman out and about now, they seem to have stepped it up a bit more. Since Scotsman's return, filming on the line side anywhere that looks vaguely decent has become a nightmare because you'll always find someone there. Not always BTP. No, give them their due. BTP are really quite good about it.
Yes.
They understand enthusiasts. Mm-hmm. What annoys me is people who have absolutely no idea at all about the common basics and just assume that you're taking a film, therefore you are a terrorist.
Exactly. Those kind of jobs was really grind my gears. It's just the sort who just don't understand that there is something to railway enthusiasm.
Yeah.
And they just think that you're there to commit crimes, and it's just not true.
No.
You know.
No. I think everybody who has ever filmed or photographed on the mainline ever has come across at least one person, even if they're not actually in a position of authority.
Precisely.
That's the worst kind. Someone who has no jurisdiction at all and comes like, you can't do that here.
Yeah.
This is Hampshire.
Yeah. Please leave.
Seriously, we joke about this quite a lot, Chris and I, about, you can't do that, this is Hampshire. That actually happened to us while filming at the Mid-Hants. We had someone come and say we couldn't do it because we were in Hampshire. What a load of utter...
Round spherical objects.
Round spherical objects. I'm being good. I'm not going to swear in this video.
Good boy.
No, just...
The one that springs to mind for me is when we were filming the Great Britain. Actually, no, it wasn't the Great Britain. We were. It was one of them. I don't think it was even the Great Britain. Actually, come to think of it, it might have been the Royal Duchy.
Oh, Royal Duchy.
Come to think of it, we were at Totnes Station, and my friend had his tripod about an inch or two over the yellow line.
Ooh.
And bearing in mind, Totnes Station, the platforms are in loops. And the train was going straight through, so I wouldn't have been using the platforms. And the job's worth at the station. One of the staff said, "God, put your tripod over there, get down there. It's going through the middle. Okay."
There we go.
I had a particularly good one at York back in 2011.
Oh, yes.
When I was filming the Scarborough Spa Express with 45407 on the front, and I turned up just as they pulled the stock in and the engine was about to take the train on. So they were setting up to depart. I just arrived at the station and I was just setting up to get a few close-ups of the engine. And the nearest platform attendant cornered me and said, "Oh no, you can't do that. You're going to have to come and sign in at the office." So I thought, well, that's fair enough. I'll do the official thing and make sure they know that I'm here and all the rest of it, which is fine. You know, they need to check for safety reasons that enthusiasts aren't going to do anything.
That's fair enough.
But when the desk sergeant said to me, "Oh no, you shouldn't be doing that here," I said, "Well, I've done it at Finsbury Park and I didn't have any problems there." And he said, "Finsbury Park is Finsbury Park and York is York. It's completely different, except for the fact that they're run by the same train operating company." Bloody stupid. It's bloody stupid. So I just said, "Well, I thought photography was a crime," and just stormed out, you know.
So to quote one of your phrases, to sum up then,
Yeah.
the things that annoy us most are the weather, the Britannias, and Jobsworths.
My dad.
Yeah, my dad was...
Yeah, because we've been a railway family. Admittedly, my dad is probably the first generation to not work on the railway, but his dad used to work on the railway. My mum's dad used to work on the railway. There's a history of railway men in our family, signalmen, engine drivers, all that sort of thing. So it was bound to happen.
See, that's interesting because I don't actually come from... Well, none of my family ever worked on the railways, so it's difficult to tell where my interest came from. But my mum tells me a fantastic story. About 2 weeks before I was born, my family used to live in Harrogate, and I was born in Harrogate. And it was around the time when Mallard was in service and running mainline tours from York to Scarborough on the Scarborough Circle. And she took my mum went to Harrogate Station, just stood on the overbridge just outside with my sister to watch it coming through. And she says that as the engine passed under her, the steam got into her system and in turn got to me. So that's kind of a thing. Although I do remember as a babe in arms, as probably my first memory actually of seeing Mallard or a big blue steam engine in steam, just standing idle in a big station. I just remember seeing this great big monster, and not being intimidated by it. It was so quiet, you know, just standing there, and I remember liking it. I just remember it's a weird first memory because you know you barely remember anything when you're that sort of age, when you're not even a year old, and yet for some reason I remember that. So
You didn't say your first memory.
Probably something from the Avon Valley.
Okay.
I think probably when they did the Pannier Gala in '97,
Okay.
when they had all three Tisley Panniers there.
Ooh.
That's probably one of the first railway memories I've got.
So for me, I think, again, family introduction to it. My mum, dad, aunt, uncle, cousins, of which two of my cousins are now drivers for the national network. I would have been had it not been for colour deficiency. Past everything, damn it.
Never mind.
Never mind. Yeah, no, first, you're not allowed to take the piss, by the way, out of this. My first memory is holding on to my dad's hand, running through what seemed to me at the time to be very, very long grass. This is the only reason I can distinguish it between being a proper memory and being a video recording of my dad's. Is because I remember the grass beforehand, and then remember being hoisted onto a bridge at Washford to watch a large prairie go underneath.
Wow.
4160, no doubt.
Probably. So, yeah, that must have been 1995 or 6. Probably 95 would have been first memory. Yeah. Yes, so despite my first memories being Western, I've always been a Southern man. my next memory after that is being on the footplate of the 9F at Horsted Canes in the pouring rain. And after that, I can remember most, if not all, trips after that.
That would draw quite similar parallels, actually, because my earliest memory after Mallard was being able to chase trains up and down the platforms at the Bluebell when I was about 3-4 years old.
Yay, Bluebell.
So, woohoo!
Yay. Gay
Out the
Valley.
Southern.
Yeah.
Up the Midland.
I'll give you that.
Yeah.
Midland's decent enough.
Yeah. They're all fine in their own way, except for the E2s.
Which is Southern.
I'm torn. There we go. So, yes, some wonderful first memories. And one day we shall bore each other with the rest of them. I refer to our previous answers.
Yeah, that's probably...
Jobsworth, again.
Yeah, Jobsworth had been a thing, although I did have one person come up to me around 2013, shortly after Bluebell reopened to East Grinstead, actually. I was filming the 9F, and I had this old boy come up to me and say, what makes you think you've got the right authority to review steam engines? You don't remember them in service. They're still running. You know, the age of steam hasn't gone away, it's just evolved.
And to that I say to anybody who works in a museum or anything that covers medieval history,
You don't have the right
you
to
don't
be
have the right to talk about that. You weren't there.
See, it's...
And neither were you. No,
It's just a load of
see,
rubbish.
actually, I have an answer to that, which is you have twice as much right, because you can actually look at it in an objective manner rather than having been submersed in it and subjugated to the, quite frankly, terrible service that BR offered in its final years of steam.
Yes, exactly.
Because I bet there is no one alive who can talk about... Okay, so let's take the Terriers. I bet he wasn't alive in 1872.
Exactly.
I think you two met first.
No, actually, you and I met
No,
first.
we did.
two met
You and I
first.
met first.
We reasoned this, didn't we?
Yes.
Yeah, because you and I met at Llangollen in 2009, wasn't it?
Yes.
August 2009. Because I was on another holiday with a group of people who we all know.
Yeah.
And you
And
just happened to be at the same
I
place.
decided to come up because I wanted to.
And that's
I
great.
was like, I'm here.
Deal with it.
Deal
Yeah.
with it. Well, I knew most of the people there anyway.
Yeah,
So I figured I was like, I'll come up
yeah. And by that time,
for a round trip and then go home again.
yeah. And by that time, you built up quite a collection of montage videos on
Yeah.
YouTube anyway. And I thought you were really good. So
Oh, thanks.
thought, right, right, have him.
Yep.
No. It's more like you. I think you released the Black Fives, and then I said to you, "You're more than welcome to have any of my stuff as well." I think that's probably more accurately what happened. I saw him.
You can use that. It's all right. I'll never have to do anything too strenuous. Here we are.
Yeah. I think that's
5 years in.
I think that's vaguely how it happened.
I suppose.
Whereas we met by complete accident.
We did.
Thanks to Mr. Robert Barton.
Yeah, thanks, Rob.
Yeah, thank
Look where
you.
we are now.
Yes. So took us down I went up, minding my own business. My plan was go up, film train out of Victoria, train into King's Cross, train into Waterloo. Out of those, I only managed one. I only managed one of those shots. For the pure simple reason that we got to Victoria and he said, do you want to come to Stuart's Lane?
Yeah.
I said, yeah. He said, okay, got this other guy coming with us, and this weirdo turned up with long hair and sort of looked at him.
And then I turned up afterwards.
So we all went down, and a bit quiet on the way down. We eventually got in, had a look round. The dirtiest I've ever seen Clan Line. Nameplates removed. Filth from the previous run. She hadn't been cleaned yet. She'd only just come in. I think it was day after a long run. So I think she'd done a Bristol run actually.
But that's fine. You can
It was
expect
fine,
that
yeah.
time.
So it was weird. So straight away, camera was out. Boom. Did that and looked across. And did this. He's doing the same thing. Got off. I said I wasn't going to swear. Damn it.
It's that's done it.
Yep. Anyway, so took the shot. And then on the way back, we took the piss out of Ian Riley.
Yep.
Because why not?
Because you do.
If you're watching, Ian, we know. You can surrender. We know. We know what you get up to.
He does.
I've heard stories.
Don't drag me in on it.
No, everybody's heard the stories.
Yeah.
Anyway, then he disappears off, having exchanged contact details. Then suddenly I needed a second person for a rail tour because someone dropped out at the last minute. You bastard. Anyway, so I was like, do you want to come along? I was like,
Sure.
yeah. So I came along. And then we said, well, we're doing it. Shall we do a film?
Yeah.
So we did a film. And we liked it. And then he said, I've got a series in mind.
Yes.
Do you want to come to York? So, all right. Didn't realise I'd have to pay for my ticket, but yeah. It's fine. I enjoyed the day. It was only 19 quid anyway. It was quite cheap. It was like, yeah. And then turning up on that day, I was like, so what do you want me to do? I was like, well, I'm going to do some talking in front of an engine. You're going to film it. All right. What's this for? I said, well, it's a bit secret at the moment. And there we were. First couple of episodes of Slips underway.
Yeah.
I was duped into it.
Well, they didn't officially come on board until about 3 years after that.
No. But it was got duped into doing the first couple.
Well, I didn't have much of a choice because they wouldn't let me use a tripod without charging me £370, you arseholes.
So there I was. I was part of the team from, not quite from day one, but from day one of PTCs anyway.
Yeah.
There we go.
And
there we
how
are.
did we meet?
How did we meet? So you came down to the Bluebell's 50th.
To the Bluebell 50th.
Yes.
Yes. And you were with Chris. And I was.
yeah.
It was like, oh, right, great. Yep. Decent enough bloke. less facial hair in those days.
Yes.
Bit more on top.
Yeah.
You just had to go there, didn't you?
I did. Yeah. So it's just kind of like, okay.
And then we didn't meet again for another 4 years.
Well,
No,
after our
exactly.
long conversation on the train back to Victoria,
Yes.
and I thought, oh, okay, there we go, that's it, done. He might turn up again in life, who knows, probably not.
4 years later.
4 years
Going
later.
Great Central.
Going Great Central. There you are. It's like, I didn't even recognise
No,
you
you
because
didn't.
you've grown the facial hair. It was like, yeah, I've never met this guy. Yes, you have. No, I haven't. It was like, yeah, you have, at the Bluebell.
Oh, yeah.
No, that little... Well, you look like a baby. No.
I was 19 at the time.
He was.
You look like a baby. You're fine.
Not as
you've
much of a
matured.
baby as you did, though.
This is true. I looked like an.
Yes.
I didn't change between the ages of 8 and 21.
You look like an embryo.
It's all about the youthful look. Anyway, so now we're finished insulting each other.
Decent look.
Yeah. So yeah, there he was, going Great Central, and we did the stuff, and then it was sort of like, oh yeah, hang on, you've been doing stuff for Slips. It was like, then Ireland.
Yeah.
And since Ireland, stuff. Lots of stuff.
Lots and lots of stuff. Favourite preserved, easily the A4s. Without question.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
S160s.
They make a good noise.
Purely because of Jim.
Hashtag lack of gym.
Distinct lack of Jim.
Distinct lack of gym. Keith Learworth Valley. Hang on, can I just backtrack on this a second?
What?
With larger pasts like Duke of Gloucester, it was one of the last engines built by comparison.
Exactly. What sort of large past has that got?
I mean, even the most recent one you've released has got more history to it than Duke of Gloucester. Right, hang on, can I do my own mini version of Soul Slip on Duke of Gloucester?
It was built, it ran, it scrapped.
Wait.
It got preserved.
It was built. It didn't work. BR didn't want to improve it. It got scrapped. It got preserved. It stopped running. Question now hangs over its future. The end.
He said it, not me.
Only fact. Pure fact.
Yeah, he said it, not me. So if you want to come crying to someone, cry to him.
You won't get any sympathy.
It's all right. We don't get sympathy either.
However,
So
the answer is yes. More Soul Slips
there will be
come.
soul slips on lots of stuff.
As hard to edit as they may be. Yes, Chris will eventually cover everything. Eventually.
Oh, good God.
In the whole world. No, we're joking. We won't push you there.
No, please don't.
No,
seriously.
We've worked out we can probably cover the majority of existing classes in the United Kingdom by the end of the century. If not before.
Quite.
Because if we don't, we're going to be dead.
Yeah.
I have a model railway.
They exist. They're okay. Don't have much of an opinion other than that.
See, now my heart aches for the Hatton's P classes that are coming out. Christmas list. Give each person in turn a different one to buy. It's all good. I'll have the complete set.
Christmas morning. Oh, look, I wonder what this is. Oh, it's another P class. Isn't that very nice?
Somehow, though, Hattons have managed to release more P classes than were ever built.
Yes.
12.
4 more than were built.
Livery variation.
There's something fishy going on here. You think they're building an army?
They're going to use them on the Flying Kipper. So, well, this is where I wish Simon was here. Because we could go into a long discussion about wooden railways. Sorry, Simon, you had enough warning.
They're toys, not models.
No, and he knows my true stance on them. But for the purposes of this video, we saw a very good modern railway layout in Venigaroda.
We did.
Yeah. Yes. All in wood.
Wooden trees.
No, let's face it. No, they are not models.
No.
They are toys, and that is the difference. Now, even within the proper gauge system, there is a difference between the toys and the models. Because the toys are less detailed, there's not the effort gone into them. And that's right, because they are there as toys. They are there as toy trains, that's fine. Realistically, I think G-gauge and above is not really modelable to real life. They're nice to see every now and then, but you don't often get a large layout in them until you get to miniature railways. So I wouldn't say they're a waste of money because they are quite good. If you've got the money and the space to do one, good on you. And I'm sure it looks very, very nice. Realistically, I am never going to have that kind of income or property to accommodate such a model. So we're talking really probably from O gauge down.
Yes.
O impractical for domestic settings. O's wonderful for if you're part of a club. And I've seen some brilliant O gauge layouts.
Me too.
Double O is the first one that's kind of doable in the house. However, please bear in mind, Double O is not a perfect scale model.
No.
Whereas HO is.
HO's more to the scale.
Yeah.
So
if you can do it in HO, do it in HO.
yeah.
Very difficult to find for UK locos though.
Oh yes.
Then N, wonderful if you've only got a small place to do stuff and you want something. Very fiddly. Z, what is the point of Z?
to make a model railway on your model railway?
Pretty much.
No.
Actually, isn't there a ZZ gauge, which is even smaller?
Is that like narrow gauge Z?
Possibly, I don't know.
Unless you want to replicate 5-inch gauge in miniature form.
But why?
Because I've seen that being
Z,
done.
you sneeze and it falls over. And I say that from experience.
Oh dear.
I managed to knock a train off at a model railway exhibition once by sneezing. What a ridiculous gauge. You can build a whole model in a old computer monitor. No. No, just no.
Please yourself.
009. 009. That's the
what I'd
gauge
say.
to build in. Lenton and Barnstable. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
One day I will get you to accept Southern in one form or another. One day.
Yes.
But it is not this day.
No.
I don't want to talk
No,
about
I
it.
don't talk about it
No.
either. No.
It's your own silly fault, boys.
Next
I
question.
warned you about going near diesels.
Next
You wouldn't
question.
listen.
Next question.
Next.
Travelling. I just love the great outdoors.
Nice.
That's one of the reasons why I love doing slips, because I just get to go everywhere.
Modern history, as in anything from about 1750 onwards. Love that. Aircraft. Filmmaking generally.
Yeah, filmmaking generally.
is a good hobby.
Cars is another one of mine.
Model
Just love
making.
old cars.
And playing strategic games.
Graphics. I like doing graphics stuff because I do all the thumbnails and stuff for slips, and I do the DVD covers as well. So that's something I quite like doing.
You're more arty than I.
Yes. I was creative at school.
That was a bit quick, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
He knows me too well. It's like, you made it go, no. Actually, no, to be fair, it was the worst subject I had at school. Art. I was useless. I was even worse at that than I was at PE.
Oh, you poor boy. See, I was all right at it, but I never really bothered with school. I just did enough to get me through.
Actually, I
That's all.
can remember going to my first parents' evening and going, I've done quite well in all subjects. Art's not so good. And my parents going, who cares? Charlie getting smacked round the face with a paper.
Yeah, that was pretty hilarious.
Charlie, you're definitely watching this video at some point. So to you, well done, sir. You taught Adam how to be violent.
Hit me harder, man. No, come on, hit me.
No. You call that a hit? Hit me harder. Not like that, like this. Ah. Which led. So for those of you that have seen the Standard Fives video, when you see our friend Charlie getting hit in the face, the reaction is thoroughly genuine. Because Adam ended up hitting him a little harder than he was expecting. He took it like a man.
He did. Yeah, he was good like that.
Good to you.
I don't really know. There's not a lot of funny stuff that really happens to me on slips. I think.
Liar!
No, it's not. It's just
All
more.
the bollocks.
All the bollocks.
You just had to go there, didn't you? It's funny for you two. It's really bloody hard work for me.
Yeah, I know.
Because here I am trying to remember the bloody script that I wrote, and I still can't remember the bloody thing. You laugh. You've tried memorising your own scripts.
Oh, I
haven't you?
know. The great thing is I love cocking up. Because I then try and cover it over. And it fails so badly.
Yeah, it does. See, you're no better than I am.
Meanwhile, I don't talk on camera.
No.
No, just on the radio. You have the face for radio.
Thank you. Thank you.
Got him to laugh out loud, so that's alright.
No, I mean seriously. I think the
Yeah.
only really genuinely funny thing that happened was when we were filming. It was shortly after you went home from doing the Vader Bridal shoot. We went out afterwards with Ryan Hagan to do some stuff on the Waspable Planfire, and we went
Yep.
chasing the Earl on the vintage set.
Yeah.
And I pulled the car over off the main road just to pick Adam up. and I tucked my mirror in just to let other traffic pass.
Oh,
but
yeah.
someone got a little bit too close to me, struck the mirror out. I heard something go. I thought it was the glass from my mirror. Ryan went round to pick it up. Turns out it was the other guy's mirror that had fallen out.
Chris's mirror completely intact.
Yes.
Other funny things include, on this shoot, having people beeping and overtaking us while trying to film a train from the car, and getting
they
caught
don't
at a
matter.
set of traffic lights. So we ended up right behind them. So they gained nothing. Adam, funniest thing.
What? All of it.
Breakfast means breakfast. No Pullmans.
Oh, yes. Keithley. Yes, at the Keithley Gala back in March of this year, me and Sam were expecting to go on the Pullmans on Sunday morning for a bit
Because
of
we thought
breakfast.
we'd treated ourselves
Yeah,
to
we'll
breakfast.
treat ourselves to some breakfast on the Pullman. So yes, we get to Oxenhope, and they're running a little later. We'll go look in the museum, shall we? Pullmans are still there. Right. Okay, we hit. Oh, they're not putting the Pullmans on. They can't get the Buckeye to connect properly. So we walk down, just have a look, and there's an austerity in the museum at Oxford called Brussels.
So, in line of Brexit, we stood there,
Yes.
and I declared, breakfast means breakfast, damn it.
Hashtag no Pullmans.
And so began another late-running day for the Keithley and
Yes.
West Valley.
Yeah. I laughed out loud so hard when I found out that you'd been robbed of your breakfast.
We coped.
Yes, we hoped.
To date, Vale of Rydal.
Yes.
Yeah,
As of now.
As of now, at this precise moment that we are making this Q&A, Vale of Rydal. However, given what we've kind of seen of the rushes, you need to buy Volume 3
yes.
to see what I think is probably our best piece to date.
Shameless plug is shameless.
PCs.
But yes.
Even forgetting a shameless plug.
Yeah.
No, I can't draw which one's going to be the better. Hearts is good. I reckon the Kriegslocks is going to nail it, hands down, for probably the best thing we've ever produced.
Let's hope so.
We haven't
Certainly
even
hope
done.
so.
We haven't even
I mean,
done the majority of the PTCs yet, and I already
No.
think it's going to beat it hands down.
No, I think one of my favourites that we've done to date. Well, actually, two of my favourites that we've done to date. I mean, the 7Fs and the S160s, just because
Yeah,
they
they've
look.
been good.
The S160s just look so that little bit more unique because of
first
the World
one
War
that
II
I've
footage.
actually done. Yeah, thank you. No, first one that we've actually gone non-railway to complete. That was a good day. The victory.
Victory Day. Yeah.
No, I did enjoy that. Alex found that completely hilarious going up. Says I dragged him up there for the first time and calling in at the Great Central on the way to kind of explain the situation. Because when you're going up that far, you might as well in Leicestershire go to the Great Central because
Yes.
why not? No, Black Fives definitely. It was good. But you can really, when you look now at what we're doing now,
When you look at
by
the quality, there is a difference. I'll give
and
you that.
I think at the time it was good. It's aged. Mainly,
in 5 years.
it's aged in 5 years as a result of us getting better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so as a result, I think probably the earliest stint is one of the worst.
I mean, it's fine for what it is, but yeah, when 5 years pass, I have tried to make them as timeless as possible,
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
it's
but
difficult in
You
that
didn't have a
sense.
clue. You didn't have a clue at that point how it was going to take.
Although
so-
I will probably say actually the Castles was probably my least in terms of quality, mostly because the PTCs in Swindon Steam Museum weren't that good. You know, the lighting wasn't particularly good, so the shots are quite grainy and noisy.
Yeah.
So
Well, that kind of we had that kind of problem doing the A4s as well because we were in the.
we had that kind of problem, but it wasn't as bad as it was in
it's
Steam.
True. It's true. Yeah. How things have moved on.
Yes, and all the better for it.
You go first.
So I joined the Bluebell Railways Junior Group, the 9F Club, when I was 13 years old, and I volunteered on and off for about 10 years after that. So I was a regular in the 9F Club for about 3 years. Then I did some stuff in the railways locomotive department, mostly in the workshops as a fitter. I was probably my most proactive during the 50th anniversary in getting Stepney and Bluebell overhauled. After that, I then went insane and decided I was going to take up filmmaking, and I kind of tailed off after that. Much as I miss volunteering, I just don't have the time for it anymore. I'd love to go back to it, but I just don't have the time or the energy. And I think even if I did have the time or the energy, I wouldn't give it the justice that it deserves. So
yeah. So I started with the Bluebells locomotive department in 2007. I was only able to do the odd stints here and there initially. Things since then, I got involved at Horsted Canes. That kind of built up over a couple of years. I'm now a leading porter at Horsted Canes on the regular roster. Try and get down about once a month at least. I have done more. I mean, especially during the recent Scotsman visits I did in the space of 2 weeks. I think I was down there 5 or 6 times, which was quite... I took the time off work to be able to help because it was really intense.
yeah, it was.
Love it. Have no plans to give it up anytime soon. Here's hoping for a future signalman career. That'd be good.
So all alone in your little box.
He'll be confined to his box.
In complete control of everything going on.
I don't want to think of the thoughts that pass through your mind when you're on your own.
Nah, just stick me in Kingscote, it'll all be fine.
Oh, that's worse.
What, the outpost? One up, one down.
Okay, I don't want to think about your one up, one down, Sam.
Right. Well, I started at the Avon Valley only last year. Like I was quite late compared to you guys. Quite
a late bloomer.
Late bloomer in the volunteering game. I started off as a TTI, travelling ticket inspector, last June, and then had my first trip in the loco department a year ago, last September, and I've tailed off a bit on the TTIing as I got more involved in the loco department.
Okay.
I'm almost grade 2 cleaner. Almost grade 2 cleaner. Almost a grade 2 cleaner.
Almost.
Yes.
There you are.
But yes, and I might be slowly getting more involved in other railway activities in the near future. Who knows?
We'll wait and see. Best of luck to you on that.
Thank you.
Good on you. Probably not, actually. Even the Britannia, as much as I hate to keep bringing them up, my perception of them hasn't really changed. See, you laugh, but the thing is that the perception of the class as a whole hasn't really changed. It's just those two. Because they keep going wrong all the bloody time.
Yeah. No, for me, I can't pin it down to a class. I can pin it down to a region. Now, as much as I enjoy taking the mick out the Western, I'm Southern. It's what I'm there to do.
See, this is why I'll never be able to do my job, because you're not unbiased.
No. However, doing this, I was brought up very much with a family that kind of had the view that all Westerns look alike and act alike and are a bit samey. Which, let's be fair, Swindon's standardisation process does kind of have an effect on that. However, I have built, as a result of doing the Western locomotives that we have, I have built a little bit more of an appreciation towards them. I won't write them off completely as a waste of time. They're just a mild waste of time. No. I mean, some of the heavy goods locos they built, they're okay. The hulls are okay. Castles, no, I'm still not a fan of the castles personally. Kings, I've kind of had a secret. Yeah, they're okay, but they're a bit too close to a Nelson for my liking.
My opinions on Locos haven't really changed, apart from it's just reaffirmed my faith in the S160s and their whistle.
and their inability to run at galas.
Distinct lack of gin. A USA tank.
Really?
Actually, no. Actually, no. A Polish tank. TKH. Actually, no. Specifically, Carol.
You're weird.
I know.
That's fine.
I get
we
told
all
this.
are.
I get told this at the Avon Valley for liking Carol. Apparently, I'm weird.
You are.
I know.
Yeah. But that's why we love you.
Chris.
I don't know, really. I'd probably have a 1400 row going tank engine.
Left for Titfield.
Shortcut!
I would probably take just to stay on my cousin's good books, a traction engine. Because although it would take me forever to get anywhere, I think I could enjoy that.
No, yeah.
I like the idea of a traction engine.
Yes. You can have a lot of fun at 20 mile an hour on one of them.
And you can do so much with them.
Yes.
So much. It's more than just
Travelling along.
You can actually do things with them. You can even run an electric motor off of them.
Exactly.
Just run them on the spindle. Good.
Yeah. I try and consult as many different sort of sources as I can, really. You know, anything from books to past videos and previous documentaries to people who've worked on the engines themselves. Although people who work on the engines themselves are becoming more and more sparse as they sort of get older and expire, and you know, there's fewer and fewer people as time goes by who actually remember them in the days of BR and who worked on them in the days of BR. So. And it's interesting how so few of them are actually willing to talk.
No, I get that.
So, I mean, I can understand why they would be not very willing to talk, but then sometimes those who are willing to talk to me are those who usually just want their 5 seconds of fame, and they're not going to get it. So,
yeah. No, it's it is difficult. But,
Hearts Mountain 210-2s, I suppose.
Because it's all in German.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we're not going to put our translator through all of that.
No. Wait, we have a translator?
Yeah, she's... No, we can't.
Not on DVD, you
Not on the DVD. We go. No. No, I think it should be mentioned that in the course of making the German film, we've had a lot of help.
Yes.
From our extra member of crew, Donna, who has been fantastic in translating throughout the process, which has made life so much easier. I think we'd have really struggled without her.
I certainly would have struggled without her.
Thank you very much.
Donna.
Danke.
No worries. Bitteschön.
Bitteschön. Dankeschön. Right, you can relax for a minute, because Mr. Ryan Hagan has a question for us.
Yes.
Now I can't relax for a moment because I know exactly what's coming.
How did the idea for diesel engines and their heritage come about? Right, well, let's get the question that he actually wants answered out of the way first. So, the name.
He
Yes.
came up with it.
He came up with the name.
Credit him for it, for Christ's sake.
We
No. We don't credit anyone in our thing.
No one gets credited.
No one gets credited.
Except yourselves.
Yeah, so he came up with the name of...
It's true.
He came up with the name after we did all the hard work.
Yes. Actually, no. I think
No, that's
the name
not true.
came first.
Name came
The
first.
name
'Cause
happened first.
name happened first. 'Cause that's how you got the
right.
idea
Yes.
first.
And
you
then we...
idiot.
Yes, that's not quite right.
No, it is.
The name came out as part of a run on that Irish trip of coming out with a load of anagrams of very rude words.
Yes.
And that was the only one that wasn't particularly rude.
That's true.
And that was before we filmed with Nippy.
Yes.
Yeah, because all I remember you two doing was I went off and did the PTCs with number 2.
So
And then you came up to me afterwards and said, Chris,
you were doing the close-ups. While you were doing the close-ups, we went off and...
we knew Chris wanted something special for the DVD.
Chris wanted something special for the DVD, and we sat down with Alan, who... When we said to him, Chris wants something special for the DVD, we're doing the kind of history behind how we came to be. Any ideas? They said, well, you can always do Nippy. We thought, well, Chris is never going to touch diesels with a barge pole. Why don't we do a mock attempt at slips with a diesel?
And I had no idea you were doing this until you came up to me afterwards and said, Chris, do you mind if we borrow your music? I thought, you bastard.
Yeah, we're doing a spin-off series. So we filmed Nippy. We had all of about 30 seconds preparation where we found out an interesting story. Yeah. And then it was literally, as you have probably noticed, complete observation. It was... What can we say? There's nothing interesting about this engine at all other than the random story we have.
Yeah. It's just a big lawnmower on 3-foot gauge.
Yes.
No.
That's all
it's red.
Yes. And it has a name and everything.
Yeah.
It's very exciting.
And the rest, as they say, is history.
Yes. Every year we've produced something.
We've done one a year.
Most recent ones only just...
Hang on.
So,
Nippy. Class 14s.
Is that what they're called?
Yes.
I don't know.
Teddy
Box
bear.
on wheels.
Teddy bears.
Teddy bears, right.
That. Class 14s, an 09, or was it 10? An 8? No, it was 9.
It was a Gronk of some sort.
It was a Gronk.
They all look the same.
Gronk, that has since been repainted.
Yes.
So it's no longer orange. We are now factually incorrect.
Yeah, but who cares?
And the 4th episode, which has gone up just this past week,
is a
rail car.
A rail car thing.
In Germany.
A thing. Someone did tell us about it.
Yes.
But to be honest,
thank
you.
None of us could care.
But
we
really don't care.
Yeah.
So next on the agenda for death, it could be some cutlery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It could be something you'd find in a garden.
Could be something you put some rubbish in.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows?
Well, they could all be something you put some rubbish in. Because they're all rubbish bins anyway.
Death will happen at some stage when we feel the urge.
Yes. Once a year.
Only if you lot are prepared to pay for it.
Yes.
Well, you two say that, but possibly, yeah, that may well have to come to it.
Yeah.
I mean, truth be told, I would love to take slips around the world. But even just coming to mainland Europe is so expensive.
Yep.
You know, I looked at getting to America time and again over the years, and the price keeps going up every year. It started off at about £3,000. It's now looking nearer 10 grand.
Yeah.
You know, you're looking at £3,000 just for the three of us to get across on the plane tickets, and that's with all the right insurance and so on. Yep. So it's
not cheap.
It's not cheap by any means. So,
but Australia being even further, it's even more expensive.
Yeah.
It is somewhere we'd like to get. There's two alternatives to it. It's either we end up going on various holidays there and picking things up as we go, which isn't practical.
No.
Or we have to have a massive fundraising thing, which would need, first of all, people to want it to happen. If people don't want it to happen,
then there's no point.
There's no point in us doing it if people don't want it. Second thing is, if people do want it, they've got to commit to paying. There is only so much money that we have, so much disposable income that we have to be able to do it.
Yeah.
We just about get by on what we make on the videos to make the UK versions. If we want to go further afield, it does require a special effort, and it's a big ask.
It is.
So it's really down to how much you as viewers want us to do it.
Yeah.
Is that fair?
I hate to have to say it, but it is entirely true. You know, it's not even just enough. It's not just people wanting it. It's enough people wanting it. You know, if just 2 or 3 people ask for it, that's not going to be enough.
No. And I think it's fair to say, let's take this trip for example. We've been out here. We're doing this now. And I'm shattered because we've had in the time we've been here. This is now the Wednesday of the second week, we've had 2 rest days, and in those rest days we've done planning as well. So
Yes.
there haven't really been complete rest days. They've been good, but they're not complete rests. And we've been on the go most days from the early-ish hours of the morning. I mean, the first couple of days we were up before 6,
Yeah.
getting going, finishing near midnight.
Yeah.
It's draining. So your money is being well spent. We get little moments in the day to do things like filming a death or doing this.
Yeah.
Little moments that we can grasp and do these things. But to get the quality that we know you want to see in the programs, it does take its toll, and especially on. I mean, Adam's had his fair share, to be fair.
Yeah.
But for Chris and I, doing the driving as well around here
Doing the driving,
really does take its toll.
looking back at the rushes, getting stressed out over the weather not behaving itself.
Yeah.
It does get to you after a while.
At least in
And-
Australia, the weather should be better.
Well, let's hope so. It may depend on whereabouts in Australia we go,
Yeah.
because
Exactly, yeah.
certainly in Victoria
Oh,
around
yeah,
the
yeah,
Puffing Billy Railway it's going to be quite wet. But then
But
that could
that's the
work in
thing.
its favour as well, because in Australia, certainly in Melbourne area, if it's too hot, they run total fire bans, which means they only run the diesels on the Puffing Billy Railway.
Yeah.
Which means we can't get to any of the NAs.
No, so you
So-
want that. But
You want that blend.
It does mean that when we ask you for a fixed amount of money, there's a lot of thought goes into it. In fact, we kind of think that for this project, we kind of under budget. Even with the excess that we got, we've under budgeted.
Yes.
And that's only really come to light while we've been here. So we've had to dip into our own funds a bit as well.
Yeah.
It's very intense. Love doing it, but we do need the commitment from you guys to make it worthwhile.
Yes. Please. Please. That's all I can say. I don't. That's been taken completely out of context. I mean, honestly,
No, I know that.
I have joked about it on and off over the years, but the truth is I don't hate Thomas the Tank Engine, really. It's just, it's the baggage that really gets to me, especially. I mean, I think we've all kind of grown up with the early Ringo's, the early television
Ringo
series
Starr and
years. So
Michelangelos. Yeah.
Ringo Starr and Michelangelos in the early days of the TV show. For me, certainly the books.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think the books are both you two to an extent, but certainly as I've got older, it has become more of a thing that you just can't get away from. I mean,
No.
Thomas is for kids. It always has been. It always will be,
It was always
and that's
meant for
fine.
kids.
Yeah, exactly. It's always been meant for kids, and it's great for getting the kids interested in railways, and that's great. That's fine. It's just that when kids grow up, well, I say grow up. Technically, we never really grow up. Really, it's just that when we get older, we all want to be taken a little bit more seriously.
Yes.
Yeah.
By other people, and we can't really be taken seriously if we're seen with something that's essentially meant for the babies.
Yeah.
Because it
See-
makes
see,
railway
people-
enthusiasm
yeah,
look like a
yeah.
bunch of babies themselves,
It
and that's
does,
not
and
great.
It's wrong because actually, if you look at it in its wider context, you're talking about people who have an interest in engineering at its heart.
Yes.
Engineering. Well, no, not just engineering. It takes a wider stance than that, and I think that is why it is still proving to be one of the biggest hobbies in the UK and even across the world. It's got a grand scale because it comes down to people who like engineering,
Yeah.
people who like science generally,
People who like
and the
history.
people who like history, people who like the countryside. It's a wonderful way to see the countryside, and it's over the years become part of it, and that's a nice feel. People who are interested in photography and videography, it's a great hub. People who have an interest in people.
Yeah,
It
because
is
the
a
social
great
circle's
magazine.
great.
I know several people who volunteer not because they like the railways, they like the people.
Yeah.
They like being around the people
Yes.
and the insanity that goes with it.
Exactly.
But no, it's
And
all these different areas give you this massive blend of people who you can't expect everybody. I mean, you talk to anyone about football, anyone who's interested in football, and most of the time it's about the game. It's about the game, it's about the players. And it's kind of a bit limited in that. You won't find many people who say they're interested in football who are interested in the mechanics of management, you'll get some, but it won't be quite as vast. You come down to a railway, you can have a conversation with a volunteer that's standing next to you, and they may have a completely different outlook on the railway system to that which you have. And I've found having those conversations with people, you develop this much wider view of the heritage setup, because, and I think it was when we were filming for Beyond the Sunset. The interview we had with the 4 VEP guys comes down to one essential thing. The thing that kept him interested in preserving an electric unit. Now, to you and me, that doesn't seem like a major thing. Okay, yeah, they're part of our history,
Yes.
in as much as we can remember them working, but they didn't have that same appeal. For him, he hit the nail on the head. It's about how many times did someone go for their first job interview? How many times did someone go on the first date that led to an eventual marriage? Or how many times? How many firsts happened on that? How many stories came out of just travelling on that train?
That's a good way of putting it.
That's an element that we don't think of so often. I mean, even carriages that have been preserved that are over 100 years old. How many people have sat on there, going for various things? How many people were off on their first holiday, going for the first time to somewhere, going just on an adventure? And the people aspect we overlook so much, but that's another draw.
Yes.
And it really is part of that. And to dumb all that down to a level of just, you just like Thomas the Tank Engine, doesn't do it justice.
No,
Now, I love
precisely.
the writing in the Thomas books is wonderful.
Yeah.
It's really, even as an adult, I can appreciate what's in it, because
Likewise.
in the same way that you look back at children's television and you can see a new layer meant for adults in there. Wallace and Gromit.
Oh, God,
you look at that. There's an adult layer in there.
Yes.
There's a teenage layer in there. There's a children's layer in there. It's there. There is an adult layer in the book. There is actually very good technical mentions. Things as simple as, how do you solve a leak in a brake pipe? You seal it off, bootlace around the
Quite.
thing. Done. Now, to a child, it's, he's using his bootlace to fix the train. To an adult, it's, actually, that's quite a good bit of thinking there.
Yeah.
Good critical thinking there.
I mean, it's all because it's really happened. It was all based on stuff that happened in reality.
But you don't know that as a child.
No,
but as an
no,
adult, you look back at
exactly.
it and it makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, even something as implausible as an engine crashing through the back of a barber's shop. No, it's just an engine. It really happened.
Yeah.
You know, it's things like that made him great.
Yeah.
But it's just unfortunate that the baggage has made him so childish.
Yeah, and
You know?
unfortunately, the baggage isn't going away anytime soon.
No.
I don't think it ever will, because so many people watch it and then grow out of it in terms of thinking it's a childish thing. I don't. That's not for me
precisely.
anymore. And they don't want to look at it deeper.
No.
And that's fair enough, because not everyone's going to be interested. No problem with that. But we're never going to shake the baggage of that, and as a result, it does have that lingering effect. And that's your problem with it. And
precisely.
it's there. But so as much as, and actually, I would say as you quote, the little blue bastard that you want to shoot is not actually the little blue bastard that resides in the books.
No.
Is the one that resides
No,
courtesy of a particular entertainment company, I will not name them, who have currently hold the rights to a certain Reverend Audrey's work.
You can have your problems with them, but I happen to know people who work for them, so I can't really say anything about them.
My personal opinion is that currently there's been a bit too much of a shift in... They're moving away from the actual essence of the books in some ways. They've gone back, they've done some good work looking back at the old stuff, but the newer stuff that they're creating bears very little resemblance to the original.
I'll give you that. Although, I couldn't really comment on it so much. It's more the outside thing of Thomas that I have problems with. It's the commercialism. It's the common misbelief that he's the Lord and Saviour of railway preservation, when Flying Scotsman can make more money at an event than Thomas ever will. Sorry, but yeah, it's true. And it's the fandom which keep picking on each other and so on and so forth. It's lots of little things which kind of just add up to one big pile of of awfulness that makes him just so embarrassing to be associated with. So, as much as I always hold on to him, I would rather just keep looking back at him once in a while. You know, kind of like an elderly pensioner going through their old photo albums once in a while.
Yeah.
It's just nice to look back.
So
and,
I've had a good read of a few books recently, just because
Yeah.
they're there.
Oh well.
and I'll always remember the stories, and I'll always remember the Ringo Starr and early Angelus years, but I would always just look at it once in a while and not
Yeah.
religiously put up with the livid fanboys every day.
Well, we'll always have the YouTube poops.
Yes.
Mind the poop.
Mind the poop. We'd like to say a very, very big thank you
To the Hotel Berschlossen.
Yes, they've been very
Yeah.
accommodating, and as long as you can work your way around to the German,
Yeah.
I have to say, lovely setting, fantastic drinks,
Yes. Agreed.
and the accommodation next door,
Yeah.
very nice. I'm sure the accommodation in here is even
The
better.
two apartments on Airbnb, thanks to Svetlana. Thank you very much. You've been wonderful.
Yes, it's been a very, very enjoyable stay for us. We've still got a bit more left of it, thankfully.
Yeah.
But yeah, just a lovely, lovely place. If you want to come and visit the Harz Mountains and everything that surrounds it,
Hotel Berschlossen in Zorga. Very highly recommended.
very, very highly recommended. Yeah, do come and have a stay.
Definitely more slips.
More slips. More soul slips.
More soul slips.
Just more slips and soul slips in general.
Other stuff branching away from slips is slips fashion.
Yeah.
More death.
More death.
Yeah, you can have more death.
Yep.
No, I mean, on a serious note, it would be nice to do some more overseas trips. But only if they are financed appropriately. Because certainly we wouldn't. Yeah. You can have Beta Song.
We'll get you there at some point.
Yeah, it would be a nice thing to do at some point, but I don't know really. I've always wanted to go to India to film some steam engines there. I did look at going to South Africa at one point recently, but it's still a bit too dangerous there to film the NGG 16 Garretts that are out at
It's
Sandstone.
going to get any better.
So, no. It's unfortunate, but it's just a shame in that sense. But, I mean, I think we've got enough material to potentially release another DVD at least once a year. No more than that.
No more than that.
Definitely no more than
We
that.
tried it once. It didn't go well.
No. I just ended up getting too stressed. But aside from that, we got Beyond the Sunset coming out soon.
Yes.
It would be nice really to do some more stuff
Spin-off
orientated
programs.
along that.
Individual programs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe even some more tns.
Oh yes.
Maybe. Yeah, I forgot about that. Just however you say it.
The train,
train
now
now
starring.
Yeah.
Yeah, more of that at some point when we get round to it.
Yeah.
It's really difficult to coordinate.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Mainly because he lives in Bristol. We'll come to yours.
and mainly because you work full time. Well, actually, no, we all work full time in our
We
own
work
ways.
full-time,
But
yeah.
yes,
We'll all come around yours.
yeah, we'll have to.
I'll try and fit you in.
We're all coming around yours.
Yes. Well, we got no choice really because you're allergic to cats more
See?
than him.
Yep. So that's combined with coming and getting a footplate ride at the Avon Valley.
Yeah.
Yes.
How much
okay.
was it? On certain days?
A fiver.
£5. See,
That's
£5
fine.
for a footplate ride. It's worth it. Go and visit the Avon Valley.
Yes.
So, it's